for you?
I guess we'll find out, won't we? I don't know. I'm sure it'll be emotional at the beginning, but at the end of the day, we have a game to play, so that's what I'm focused on.
And for you to, for your path to, to be here as a walk-on guy, and all of a sudden a guy who's been a starter and stuff like that, do you start reflecting on that sort of stuff around this time, or have you given it much thought?
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to, I'm thinking about getting another game on the blue in a couple weeks, so that's my goal.
And another crack at Air Force, and that's certainly been something.
Exactly.
How much has that been in the back of your guys' minds? You don't try to look ahead, but you knew Air Force is coming up, and that's been the team that's got you 3 years in a row.
Yeah, every offseason we're reminded of that. We haven't beat them in the last 3 years, ever since Coach Harson's been here, ever since I've really been playing. We haven't beat them, so it's a big game this week.
And the last two were, end up way keeping you guys out of the championship game. You still had a shot both times the last 2 years you lost to Air Force. Is that, obviously you have a little more control of your destiny this year, but is it kind of the same thing too, where you don't want that to happen 3 years in a row?
Yeah, we're winning, we're in. That's it. That's all there is to it. So.
How big is you mentioned having another home game? How big would that be, and how much talk is that kind of, let's not make this the last home game this year?
I think we're more focused on just beating Air Force. That's the real motivation we have behind this game. Not thinking ahead too far, just thinking win this week.
Everyone talks about the triple option and stuff on their side, but you look at your offensive performance against them the last couple of years, and obviously it hasn't been great with the turnovers a couple years ago, and then last year you got stuffed at the goal line. Obviously had the first half struggles. How much does the offense kind of need to play well in this game?
Yeah, they play great defense. They play assignment sound. They bring a lot of pressure. They disguise that pressure really well. So in order for us to win this game, we need to get ahead of them early, and that kind of gets their offense off track. So
I think last year they had like 41 minutes time of possession or something too. It's crazy. So is that one of those things going into the game sometimes where you may get less plays, less possessions, you got to take advantage of it?
Yeah, you got to be efficient. You have limited opportunities. You got to make them count.
How much has you as an O-line or you as a center thought about that last drive at Air Force last year where you guys weren't able to get it in on the goal line?
It gets brought up a lot. It's a lot of motivation for us to be better this week than last year.
For the senior class, like you mentioned, you guys haven't beat Air Force, and you don't want to go out having never done it.
Exactly.
How much for you seniors have you do you think about that? Just the fact that these other guys might have more shots, but this is going to be your last one.
Yeah, it's definitely motivation. But at the end of the game, it's a Mountain West Conference game. It'll be a championship game for us, just like every week when we play Mountain West teams. So we're excited.
Mason, you guys up front, how much pride do you take in what Alex was able to do against Colorado State?
It was awesome. It's not just us. On every play, there's also tight ends blocking, and there's times when Alex is making us right. So it was a real offensive effort, not just us.
Speaking of tight ends, wanted to ask you, the Mackey Award named its 8 semifinalists today. Jake Rowe leads the country in all tight ends and touchdown catches, but he wasn't one of those 8 semifinalists. In your mind, are there 8 better tight ends in America than him?
Besides Alec Damons and John Bates, no, Jake's awesome. He has a great positive attitude, and he's an all-around player. He's been on quarterback for us. He plays receiver, he plays tight end, he blocks. So, he's a great player.
With it being senior day, one of the guys we're going to be talking to is Tursek, and he's a guy who stuck around and stuff like that. What stands out to you about him, on the O-line?
He's a guy that's in the room. He's the comedy source. He's cracking jokes, and he's a fun guy to be around. So.
How badly do you guys want, a Mountain West title, and how badly for you as a senior do you want to finish this thing off the right way? And obviously, a win Saturday, like you said, would give you guys a nice step in that direction.
Extremely. That's our goal every year is to win the Mountain West Conference Championship in a bowl game. So that's the first step in winning or attaining our goal this year.
As a senior, though, have you thought about how sweet of a finish it would be to have a celebration on the blue with the trophy? Yeah. And it would kind of be a cool way to go out.
Yeah, I've thought about it, but I try not to get too ahead of myself and just think about this week.
With early in the year, there was a lot of rotating around on the offensive line. You guys still have had to deal with that a little bit. When you weren't able to play, or Quevedo wasn't able to play, and Garrett was stepping in. How important is it to have a guy like Garrett be able to play multiple spots and be able to slide in both those games? Obviously, the line played well.
Yeah, it adds good depth because on offensive line injuries happen, and they happen a lot. And so, in order to have a guy that can kind of swing around, get that open spot filled is important for us.